And I believe that we are live, so I'll talk really slow in case we're not live. But hey, everybody, welcome to Fun in the Country Basement for this Sunday, June 23rd, 2019. And we thank each and every one of you guys for being here. We hope that you are at least half as excited to be here as we are. And I'll go ahead and let's go with Chris this time. I always let Walter go first, but I'm going to make Chris go first.
Excellent, excellent. Good Sunday to everyone, unless you're in Australia and it's already Monday, and I'm sorry. But Fun in the Country Basement, again, should be a great time. I am Chris from Chris's Basement. As you all probably know that, I'm having a wonderful day. I have roughly 4,000 things that are broken, and I will probably get 2 of them fixed right now, I hope. Yeah, should be good times. Take it, Walter.
Hey, I'm Walter, Kuntry 3D, and I don't have anything broken. I'm trying to print this stinking expandable sword, so I broke out the Prusa, brought it in here, and set it up. So that's what I'm going to do. I was going to work on something, but I really don't feel like it. It's hot in here, and I don't know about y'all, but it's hot at our house. I got up this morning to mow the grass at like 7 o'clock, and it's 82 degrees outside with 91% humidity. So that's me. I'm here.
So
Welcome, everybody.
it's an average Florida day.
Right.
It is hot, and it's thick. Like when you go outside, like you just feel the moisture. You're pushing into that moisture.
Hey, my daughter stepped outside yesterday, and she come back inside. She goes, I miss Ireland so much.
Well, everybody, I was going to cheat and try to use Nightbot to get a list of the users that are chatting right now so that I could go down that list and call everybody out. But for whatever reason, it's not picking up anybody. It's not even picking up the chat. So that backfired, and maybe another time, but there's a lot of you in here. So let's try this from the top. Techie Dad is here. Chris Galata, John Cook, 3D printing and painting. Poppy Ron is in the house. Sean Gould, 3D Medic Vince is here. Sean Butler, Bob S. Sean Mosquito 3D. Scott McClellan is in the house. Ronnie Julian. You guys should just come in and say one thing and then be quiet for a while. Jake from State Farm is here. Michael Fox. Trolling for Dollars, Darren Anton, and the Guinness. All right, anybody that comes in from here, whoop, you don't get said. We thank you for being here.
We'll try to say hey every now and again.
Yeah, it's getting long. I was really hoping that Nightbot was going to be the answer. I don't.
Where are you at on your CR10 there, Glenn?
Well, I haven't touched it since last week. So really, because I wanted to save it for on air. But at this point, I think I've got the gantry all leveled out. I still have that skip in the motor. These couplers have a gap in them, and I don't know. That's going to mess with the alignment. I don't know why they keep pulling apart, and I think it may be because of the skip. But we'll work through that momentarily. I'm going to try running a new wire from the main board to the stepper and see if that gets rid of the skip, because that'll tell me if it's the wiring harness. If it doesn't get rid of the skip, then we're going to have to look into a new main board. So when I say we, I'm doing this out of pocket for the library. They don't have a large budget for any of this.
Hey there, Brian Vines. Hey, whatever maker. Chris, you've already been asked what you're working on.
Yeah, so this machine, I haven't worked on it since the day that we did the live stream. Haven't done much with it. But I have been reading up about Mighty boards. And the Mighty board is mostly known for things like FlashForge and MakerBot. This one has a Mighty board. Now, the Mighty board is pretty awesome, actually. It has a lot of different pins and everything, but it's really old school. And there's a lot of different ins and outs to it. Marlin 2.0 made it possible to use Mighty boards. So, and that's been fairly recent. So that's what I'm working on now, a flash of Marlin for Mighty. so you can save some of these old school replicators, these old school MakerBot type, FlashForge type printers, because it is just a 2560 processor. But for some reason, the Mighty board by default, it comes with a part cooling fan, like an extra 12 volt or 24 volt module that you can control in the software. But for some reason, they didn't feel it necessary to solder the MOSFET in place for you. And they're the microscopic type of MOSFETs. I mean, they're like, a quarter of an inch in size.
Oh,
so
the SMD one?
I'm either getting ready to completely ruin this board or add part cooling. So you'll witness that as I do this live.
So you're going to try to solder a surface mount MOSFET?
I am.
All right, trolling for
do it with a soldering iron or a heat gun?
Sorry.
What, Glenn?
Are you going to do it with a soldering iron or a heat gun?
I am going to do it with a soldering iron.
Okay.
So we'll see how it goes. I've got it stuck down with flux. So I'm hoping that I can just get in there and tap it a little.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So I just want to stop everybody just briefly and let the whole entire world know that 3D printing newbie is also in the house. I'm fairly sure he hadn't said anything before that, but that's all right. There's the acknowledgement.
3D printing newbie? There he is.
And NEWBE.
Yeah. Trolling for Dollars asked me how my dial-up was doing. It's still just as crappy as it was before. I don't know about y'all, but Chris is really grainy to me. Glenn is pretty clear.
Yeah, how's the playback looking today?
I don't know. I haven't looked at the playback.
Walter's grainy. I gotta wait for it to pop over to you, Chris.
I am also very grainy.
You are a little bit grainy. And then I'm crystal clear because I have the Queen's internet.
That's right.
It also says I'm on 720.
Wow.
You're on 720?
That's what it says.
Well, I think that's Hangouts, though. Doesn't Hangouts do that automatically?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I do have a little pop-up in my upper right corner that says Hangouts on air is going away later this year for quick streaming. Try youtube.com/webcam. So we better figure out something soon.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm getting 720 on my playback too. I just swapped over just to see how it looked. And Glenn is crystal clear. Chris is pretty clear. He's a little grainy. And then I look my normal 240p self, so I'm good.
Yeah, I have no clue what's causing it. It's just been recently. Wow, that really brightened things up.
Yeah, it did. Woo!
Yeah, it's like you turn the lights on in the basement.
I will want that.
Like they let you out of the basement there for a minute, or
I
somebody
actually
turned
got
the sun on.
Yeah, I actually got out of the basement yesterday and went to Maker Faire. That's the first time in a long time I've been out of the basement.
You know what? And it was so cool that you gave your wife a credit for doing some camera work for you.
She had to do a lot of work.
Well, you need to bring her to Earth, man. Make her hang out in Maryland for about 3 days with all of us.
I told her.
Ryan said it's the Minecraft version of Walter.
Yeah, that's normal.
I told her yesterday on the way to Maker Faire, I said, don't worry. There'll be other nerds there, and their wives will talk to you because they don't want to be there either.
Right. I think her and Priscilla and Regina and Miss Kay, they could all go to a wine tasting in Maryland or something.
There you go.
I really hope this blade turns out. So I can print this thing and get it over with.
I really don't want to solder this because I know it's going to go badly.
You need you one of those little bitty like micro heat gun things that you can just blow heat on it and melt the solder.
Yeah. That would be much better.
Benny Brady said it's great to have a wife like Christy. She's also a nerd. I guess that could be cool, you know. I'm really kind of glad mine's not.
No, because then you got to share all your stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, me and my wife couldn't be further from different people. It's she's nerdy, but in like I like watching Star Trek kind of way. You know, she likes Star Trek and you know all the sci-fi movies and stuff, which they're cool and everything, but I don't really care about watching them.
Really?
Yeah, I mean they're all right. I mean I enjoy them, but I never sat down long enough to eat a sandwich, let alone watch a movie.
Yeah, we can't be friends anymore.
It's now just fun in the country.
That's it. It's just fun in the country.
But isn't it always fun in the country?
It is. There's some jokes I could do that if this wasn't Glenn's channel. No, man, if you can't just sit down for a full 24-hour Star Wars binge, that's harsh.
That sounds like a nightmare.
I mean, you know, everybody's like, I love you 3,000 or whatever. I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's 3,000 minutes. Come on. We can do better than that. Well, just think if you had to sit down and watch all the Star Trek movies, though, because there's like 12 or 14 of those or something like that.
No kidding. Brian Vines, I wish you'd side of this for me. Thank you, Paul. And hey, Carl.
Paul Cumber, Paul Cumber, Carl is exactly right. It has not moved. It is too friggin' hot in this room, guys. Y'all really don't know. And until I get a bigger air conditioner in here, it's been raining for the past month. So it's been sort of cool, but it stopped raining today, and it doesn't look like we're going to have rain for a week, and we're going to have 95 and 96 degree temperatures with 90% humidity. So yeah, it's just going to be miserable. Not that, Chris.
Yeah. Wrong wire.
This is where you say don't break, don't break, don't break.
Yeah, it's just someone said I needed to switch shirts to the don't break shirt for this.
Our internet today at home, our DSL with CenturyLink, has been up and down all day. It would run for like 5 minutes and it would go down for like 10, and then it would run for 10 minutes and go down for 30. And when I left, it had been up for about 30 minutes. So I'm hoping that they've got whatever the heck they were working on done. But it's still awfully slow. And it may be due to this rain that we've had, because everything here is just, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's been raining here for the last 2 days. It's like 65 degrees, 100% humidity, and there's all kinds of water in my basement. So,
ain't it flooding like close to you somewhere up there?
Oh, all over the place, yeah. My solder really isn't small enough for this.
What kind of printer did you say that was again, Chris?
This one is a CTC brand, but there's like a million different names for this thing. Like PowerSpec made one. It's your classic FlatchForge / MakerBot ripoff.
Okay.
They still sell these things. I would never buy one, but they sell them.
James come in singing "Oh Canada."
Brother James is in the house.
Oh yeah, and he's actually here as print and play today.
But does he have audio? That's the big question.
Not his retro. How does that go, James? Can you sing it for us? Is it "Oh Canardia"?
I may have a busted wire on this harness.
You might.
Did I ever tell you guys the story about? So he was using blue and gray. I don't know if it was for the cabinet or whatever, but he had 2 huge spools of blue and gray. James did, and I said, "Oh, you Canadians just love Civil War history." and And he comes back, he's like, "Oh, you Americans just love to think everything's about you." And I said, "Yes, we do."
When is it not?
I was fixing to say he needs to take that word think out of there because it is about us. It's always about us.
James always has the comeback. It was hilarious.
We were watching some YouTube videos last night, and I'm sure 99% of you have watched try videos before. But it was the Irish people try American this or American that, right? Because my daughter, she's like, I bet I can tell you what their accents are now that I've been over there for 5 months. I'm like, oh yeah, you've been there for 5 months, so now you're an Irish accent expert.
Excellent.
You can tell what village they come from. So we started watching it. Anyway, she watched about 2 of them and went to take a shower. And me and Regina sit there and watch, I don't know, forever's worth of them. I'm like, so all these Irish people are trying all these American things. I'm like, I should start a channel where Americans try American things. Because it's about us.
Right.
Carl's trying to mess with me because James says he does have audio and Carl says he doesn't, so I have to hold up the post-it, but that's all right. I'll still hold up the post-it. I keep that post-it right there because James comes in so frequently without audio.
So you guys I've had computer crashes. We've talked about that on the streams before. Somebody mentioned re-thermal pasting my CPU to see if that helps. So I did that today. So that was either Andrew S. or Andy that suggested that the other day. So I did try that. So we'll see if it helps.
Andrew S. said he's sorry his latest phone died. Don't worry, man. We're all late. We just got here.
We're waiting on you.
Yeah. So now we can start the show. Andrew's here. I'm glad he changed his name, man, because Play Deaths was kind of weird.
Funny though.
Yeah.
I like I don't know if he's in here today. I like the Fatal Paper Cut. That's one of my new favorite usernames. Yeah.
A Fatal Paper Cut, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to tell this story. We're driving along in the car, and I don't even know how the conversation came up, but I referred to Xander as a fart generator.
Okay.
I said I'm gonna register fartgenerator.com, and then we laughed, and I said it's probably taken. Well, it is now. I don't know how in the world I ended up being able to get it, but I own fartgenerator.com.
You know what? I need to write you a website that has nothing but a button on it.
That's exactly what I want. So when you push it, it makes fart sounds.
Yep.
That
and then you can put AdSense ads all around it and nothing but that.
That is absolutely my idea for that site. But I offered it to Xander. I said, wouldn't that be a great gamer tag? Like you could be fart generator. And he's like, no. And I'm like, dude, that's so funny. No. And he didn't want it. I'm like, this is epic. But
yeah,
that's my new thing now. I call him fart generator.
Nice.
But yeah, you might be able to retire with those ads, dude.
Sean Gold said I need a net for that. I couldn't believe that it wasn't already taken.
Right?
I mean that's domain gold right there. I own so many domain names that I don't use.
Me too. And I always, every time when they come like ready to renew, I'm like, do I really need to keep that? And I'm like, yeah, I better just keep it.
Well, every time I've ever let one go, and then it gets sucked up by a squatter, and then they immediately put it on the market for like $5,000.
Oh yeah.
All right. So I probably linked 2 of these contacts together, but let's test them just to make sure.
Well, it absolutely positively does not like this other wiring harness.
Is Fun King, that's still the library printer, right?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
It's still the same. For those of you joining us a little bit postly, I opted to not work on it through the week so that I could work on it here on stream with you guys.
Tristan said fartking.com is still available.
Well, it's funny because the main domain name that I own and use starts with a G, and every time that I go to type Fun King, I always hit G. I do the @ and then I hit that G just out of muscle memory, and so then it comes up as Gun King, and I'm like, no, that doesn't work.
It don't work.
I do not want GunKing3D.com. You can only imagine the what that would start.
I had some other stuff I needed to do today. What was it?
Laundry?
That's tomorrow.
Oh, gotcha.
Maybe there was something about the FT6 I think I had to correct. I don't remember what it was now. I need to find a part cooling fan duct for that thing. So I'm not going to print an 8-day print with no part cooling.
Oh, I hear that. Did you slice a full-size Benchy for it yet?
I have not. I really need to get that done, though. I want to see how long it takes to crunch it.
Now, I wanted to see how long it was going to take to print it.
Yeah. Gussner, I think Gussner did it for me. It was like 3 kilos at 10% infill, 5.5 days or something.
Oh, yeah?
Good call, Vince. I'll try that now.
Oh, Mike asked, was it taking your wife out to dinner? Was you supposed to do that today?
No. That's
course
silly
not.
talk.
Were you supposed to come to Florida and hang out with us live?
Well, that's been on the list for a while. I've just been neglecting to do it. I'm coming to Florida in the winter.
I hear you.
Good plan.
Please do, man. then we can just set up cots in Glenn's garage.
Just
right now, that thing's got to be like a big pizza oven, man.
It is. I barely go in there in the summertime.
I don't blame you.
If I have to go in, like I have to change the oil on the car this week, so I'll end up opening the garage doors like a couple of hours in advance and letting it air out.
Yeah. No,
So
I'd open the garage door and go, okay, it's worth my $30 to go to Super Lube.
No, those monkeys always mess something up.
Yeah, but they pay for it.
I used to get up under somebody's car, like they bring me their car, and I'd get up underneath there, and I'd see the drain plug all like rounded out, like it's been taken on and off with vice grips, and I go to them, oh, you get your oil changed at Walmart, and they're like, yeah, how'd you know?
Well, let me tell you that Walmart can no longer do that, nor forget to take it out. They went over to a completely new system. Now they vacuum your oil out through the dipstick tube.
seriously?
I'm not
Seriously.
sure or not. I know they use that system on boats, like when you have a inboard boat, but
They do it now on cars at Walmart. Matter of fact, I had my wife's oil change the other day, and I'm like, let me try it. And sure enough, they stick a vacuum to the oil-filled dipstick and suck all the oil out of it. But I'm wondering what about like sediment? If you have sediment in your oil, and how do you check the plug? Because plugs are magnetic to see if there's any metal coming out of your transmission.
right. Well, I mean, you're always going to get some metal out of it.
Right. But yet with that system, I don't know how it gets it out.
Right. It doesn't.
So what are y'all, I don't know, Glenn, if you've got yours yet or not. Chris has probably updated his. What do you think about the new Prusa slicer versus the old one?
I hate it.
Do you?
I haven't used it.
I'm just still mad about the name change. No, it's good. It works really well. It takes a little bit. I mean, going from one to the other, it takes a little bit to get used to. Find everything again. You have to click the expert mode.
Right.
It slices really well. It's pretty quick. It has a few features that I've never seen in any slicer. And one of those is you can right click on the file, send it to NetFab for repair, and it comes right back clean as can be.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you can do that in the
Yep.
slice.
Yep. Right there. You just right click on the file name, boom, sends it out, comes right back. Pretty cool.
Right click on the file name. Where at on the file name?
So if it has to have errors. So it has to call out errors.
Oh,
so
I got you.
If you pull in the Benchy, it has 1,000 some odd errors, and it's going to throw a bang light on it, an orange light, and you right click on that light and it'll repair it.
Okay.
Yeah, real cool. So yeah, it's good. I like it. And that's only for Windows 10 users, by the way, because that's included in your Windows license.
I'm not sure if I missed something, but John Cook said hopefully there's no metal from your tranny in your oil. That
I agree.
If you have metal, if you have tranny metal in your engine oil, you have more problems than you can imagine.
Yeah, because shoot, that means it's come back through your torque converter, through the main seal on your motor. I don't even, can't even do that.
I don't think so. I don't think that would ever happen.
Yeah, I think you can. You could do that if it came back, but that means your pump would be pumping back. You'd have more problems.
You'd have to have a vacuum. You'd have to have a vacuum on your crankcase. All right, it's not the harness. Because I swapped over and used the X harness for the Z, and it still stemmers. So it's the main board. Because I hooked the X to the Z motor, and it's smooth. So it's the Z port, but it's only the one and not the other one. Well, crapolas. Chuck Hellebuck posted the link to the quiet Creality board.
Yep.
The other day he said, "Oh, they're on sale," and so I was going to go pull the trigger on one just to have it. Plus, it would have worked out here. They were already out of stock by the time I got it.
I actually got a line on another board. It's a Creality replacement board. It's going to be kind of like that. That's coming out pretty soon. Hopefully I get to test it. It should be pretty awesome.
Well, that kind of shoots this project right into the ground, but at least I know I'll order one this week. And
so it's the board, Glenn?
It's got to be. It's not the motor. It's not the harness. What else does it leave?
Well,
I guess I could check the voltage going to the.
I was going to say, run the trace down and just fix the trace, man.
Oh. Oh. This stuff is all so small, and I'm blind in one eye and can't see anything out of the other.
I watch some of these guys fix these Xboxes and crap that they get on eBay that don't work or whatever, and I'm like, man, you better make your money back because that's just not worth the time and effort that you put into it.
It's kind of how I'm feeling about this board right now. I don't think this is going to be possible.
T-Tech 3D just subscribed and is a new UK shop for 3D printing. If you guys would give a shout out to him, please. We don't do shout outs. So if anybody out there wants to go to T-Tech 3D, they're going to have to do it on their own. If they need a new UK shop for 3D printing supplies, and T-Tech 3D fits into that. Well, I'm tired of that project. Loose nut behind the control. All All right, I'm gonna try plugging. I'm gonna like switch the motors. I'm gonna put the right motor in the left hole and the left motor in the right hole, and we'll see what happens. See if the problem follows it.
All right, so that's perfect other than the squish I have on the bottom now being too close. So let me try one more few layer one and see how that does. Let me see if I can reset that.
Wow, it's hot in here today.
Ooh, you have no idea.
LED light was supposed to not put out any heat.
Yeah.
I turn on these studio lights. It gets hot in here.
Yeah, no doubt.
T-Tech, I expect the check to be in the mail.
I need to go to here. I got to check this. Yeah, that's all it's going to take.
Oh yeah. Now I remember.
I can't tell. This is driving me insane. It's a short trip, just so y'all know, but
That's
Yeah,
exactly.
nobody was fooled, Glenn.
what's that?
Nobody was fooled.
Well, I just wanted to get it out there before somebody else did.
That's exactly how I get projects done, Tony Ryan. I work on 6 at once, and when I'm tired of working on one, I just skip to the next one.
That's I think that's how we all do it. If I'm not mistaken, that's actually a sign of ADD.
You think?
I made myself a shirt years ago. The premise behind it was King of Unfinished Projects. It just said King of Unfinished Project.
I heard a word yesterday that I really enjoy, and that's pretengineer. I am totally one of those.
Pretengineer.
Pretengineer, huh?
Pretengineer. I like that. I'd never heard that before.
Well, you know what the difference between an actual engineer and somebody who just does it on their own is, right?
What's that?
About 15% overkill.
Yeah, right.
Some of these building blueprints that I work on, the engineering behind it is just amazing that they would even think that something would need to be built like that. But it doesn't fail because it's a 2-story building, but it's engineered to be a skyscraper.
That might work, Vince. Have to try it and see. Chris, do you know if it's possible to use the MK3 filament sensor with the ramps board?
The new one or the old one? Are you talking about the old optical? Both sensors, yes. The new one, way easier. The optical one is going to take a little bit of work. But the new one, yeah, you could plug it right into like Z Max or X Max and just set the pins in Marlin. You'd be good to go. The optical, there is a way of doing it. I looked at the schematic once, how that thing's pinned out, because somebody asked me that. I don't remember what it is, but there is a guide out there on how to get that done. But that optical is kind of flaky anyway, so I don't know if you'd want to use it or not. Old one, yeah. I'd have to look at the pinout. Yes, it is possible. Yesterday I couldn't even spell pretengineer. Now I are one. Love it.
So now I don't feel the thunking in there at all. And what I'm thinking is, that lead screw over there is really tight, so I wonder if that's causing the problem. But
You're
I
not.
have this, I don't know.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No,
You're not mistaken, Sean Butler. Glenn's so old he forgot.
really this early?
He said it's 37 minutes.
That's only 37 minutes in.
But I might not have 37 more minutes. I'm old, damn it.
The goal is to go as long in the stream as you possibly can.
But it
You want to be the
presented
first
itself.
one to make an old joke, but not until like as long as possible.
But it presented itself. Get it that time.
Yeah, it's funny because my kids have now joined that bus and they run around calling me a dinosaur and stuff. I'm like, whatever. At least this dinosaur knows more than you do.
Yeah. Almost perfect right there.
I'm gonna have a stroke if I move this thing around too much more.
All right, give me this. I'm gonna try to print the whole damn thing. I mean, it's 40-cent filament. What do you want?
It's what? 40 cents?
40. I got 2 rolls of this filament for 40 cents.
Wow.
How'd you manage that?
No, that's just the airy one that they asked me to buy and get a refund. I said, I'm not going to buy it. And he's like, okay, well, how about if I give you 99% off? I'm like, okay. So I got over there and I put 2 rolls in the thing. And with prime shipping, it was 40 cents for 2 rolls. So I figured that was pretty good. We lose Chris. Chris, your batteries go out?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. But yeah, that's how
fine.
He was just started talking to you.
I know it. That's how I got 40-cent filament.
Eerie one.
Erie one. I think everyone would buy it if it was 40 cents.
No kidding. What do you do when your Pinda doesn't find a calibration point on your Mark 42 bed? You have a serious issue with your Pinda. Because you can probe anywhere on a 52. You don't need to find the point. Or are you talking about during calibration when you have the sheet off? That must be what you mean. I have an engine lift. It's out in the shed. That's what I really need. I need a crane for this printer.
I think that's going to work. I hope. Yeah, because it's free up top. All right, cool. All right, I got questions. And Mike said in his experience, I overpaid.
Ooh.
Brian Vine said he wouldn't. Wesley Hyatt, I am trying my dangest to get it to work. I've pulled the MK3 out of mothballs and put it here on my desk. Man, this heated bed is not making it any better in here at all. Yeah, I think he said it's a Mark 52, and yes, on calibration. So I think his probe is just gone.
Yeah, either it's broke or it's not low enough.
Yeah.
I mean, does it trigger like if you hold pliers up to it? Something?
Yeah, I guess you could try that, right?
Yeah, just M199 or M119 it and see if it's triggering.
The new ones they have red lights on them, the new ones?
Yeah, they do.
So you wouldn't even need to do that. Just pick it up off the bed and then hold them up there and see if the light goes out.
That's true. It's proofs of firmware. You won't have anything wrong in the firmware. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah. If you put a metal object to it, the light goes out.
Yeah. Silly me thinking, people had firmware that wasn't cobbled together.
That would be a you thought, that's for sure.
It would.
That is too high. All right, let's stop this.
Hey, Sergio.
I have got to clean this bed because this is not wanting to print a dang thing. Nothing's wanting to stick.
The big benchy bench. That's true. I'm putting. I got casters coming tomorrow, so I'm going to be a roll. It's going to be a roll around big benchy bench.
I have paper towels here somewhere right there. I have one paper towel here somewhere. I've got to get empty boxes out of here. Chris, I did not get to the post office yesterday, Chris.
Oh, no worries.
We were under tornado warnings yesterday morning. And I'm like, I am not getting out and driving in this.
Yeah, not a problem. I'm in no hurry. I got a million other things to work on anyway.
But I did put my hands on it, so
Excellent.
it was still in the back bedroom back there where I had it. Afternoon, everyone. Finally, 60 days and 3 shipments from Prusa, but my MK3S is alive. Excellent.
Had a tough go on the Prusa, eh?
I suppose so. I'm going to do a first layer calibration on this thing. I'm going to try it out while I sit here and sniff alcohol.
Carl said casters are the way to go. It's so nice to be able to roll the White Knight around the shop. He talks like the White Knight's big.
Yeah, with this, I think that's the only way to go.
You know, Robbie Mack said, Walter, you missed a Hoosier cookout. Motorhead Mitch, Red Light, Papaw's Projects, Buttram, and him had some good food yesterday. Well, you know, Robbie Mack, it would be a hell of a lot closer for Chris to get there than it would for me or Glenn.
That's true.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love a good cookout, but 16 hours is 16 hours is quite a bit.
Invited me anyway, so.
Well, yeah. I joined the Hoosier Club on the Facebook page that he created. I was invited to the Hoosier Club, so I didn't want to disappoint. So, but I let them know up front I probably would not make it to Indiana for a barbecue.
Well, that's good of you.
I did that. I did not RSVP, that's for sure.
Is this day 4 of the build? No, it is not. I decided that I was going to before I button this thing up and get it set where I want it, I decided I was going to throw a Raspberry Pi in here. And I got a 90 millimeter fan that I'm going to mount because it has the port for a fan. I want to put that in there. So I was going to resituate a few things before I, send it on its first 1,000-day print or whatever it's going to be. So just a quick cleanup. That's all.
Carl, the same one that I had at Murph, the big Makey. I haven't printed anything on it since I got home. The last of the parts have finally arrived to do the 4Z motor. So I just got to get motivated to get all that hooked up.
I have to say though, this thing's tall enough. You stand it on the end. It's kind of a nice little compartment to work in. If anything goes wrong, it would hold all the nuts and bolts just great. You can just toss them in here.
Right.
I was actually pretty impressed with the initial print on this thing. I thought it was going to be a whole lot worse than it was.
Nope. See how we look here. Oh. I'm trying to catch up with chat. Sorry, guys.
All right.
F6 could be rail cord, or if because it's not square XY, going core XY would be a dumb idea.
Tony Ryan, if your brother had a house in Lynn Haven, I just hope he wasn't there when the hurricane came through. That's for sure.
how's my electric bill? Let's not talk about it.
I bet it's not as bad as mine.
That it's actually not that bad. I mean, I don't run, most of the time I'm not running 24/7, and I'm not running 4 and 5 machines. 2 or 3 is a pretty common number for me, but compared to the air conditioner, it's nothing.
I run my house, my dad's house, plus this camper on my meter.
Yeah, in Florida, that's probably a pretty sizable bill, I would think.
Yeah. During the summertime, they don't get below $500.
Whoo! But Missouri electricity is really cheap, like 3 cents.
Wow.
So
I think ours is 11 cents for the first 1,000 kilowatts, and then 1,000 watts, and then after that it's 10 cents or something like that.
Yeah, ours is 10 here.
yeah, I pay almost nothing for it. I mean, seriously, it's like 3 or 4 cents a kilowatt, I think.
Wow.
And I think the most expensive bill I've ever had. Now, my house is like 900 square feet. You gotta understand, it's a very small house, but I burn a lot of juice. But the most expensive bill I've ever had was like $275. So it's not bad at all.
I think my hot water heater went out, or my air conditioner hadn't run for a month if mine was ever that low.
Well, that's true too. My the hot water heater's on gas, and furnace is all gas and everything. So really, in the summertime is the only time I burn a lot of juice.
See, and our house is all electric, so everything we do is electric.
Yeah.
My dad's house is all electric, and of course this camper is all electric. And this has a hot water heater in it that's electric. Plus, this air conditioner in here never shuts off either. So,
right. Yeah, no, I'm pretty fortunate as far as the bills go.
Everybody in Florida fusses about how cold it is during the wintertime. Not me, man. It's cold, and it might mess up my printing, but I'd rather it be cold. I can cover up.
Listen, it's not that Floridians complain about, oh, it's so cold. The problem with Florida is that it's 90 degrees on Monday and it's 40 degrees on Tuesday. There's no transition period.
I don't
That's
mind that.
the problem with the cold.
Oh, come on, pause, man. Pick up. Get this crap out of here. Come on. That looks better.
This is really strange. I don't know if this mount for this Acme screw is bent, but when you tighten it down, and not even very much, just tight enough to where it doesn't unthread itself, it binds up on the lead screw.
When you tighten the screws down that hold the nut on, you mean?
That holds the brass Acme nut to the actual printer?
Yeah. I had that on the Ender 3 because the bracket was bent.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking
I
that
actually took the bracket off and put it in a vise and put it back to 90 degrees.
So the point where the Acme screw or the Acme nut bolted on wasn't 90 degrees to the main bracket?
So on the one I worked on, where the Acme nut would bolt down, it's an L where it holds the
Right.
nut, and then straight down it's got the wheels bolted through the same bracket. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that one was actually bent up, I'd say, to about 100 degrees.
All right, so now I just got to think about where my square is.
Don't worry, it's not very. It's pretty soft steel, so you can get it back into shape pretty easy.
Brian Vines asked me if the water's hot, why do you have to heat it? It's not hot. It comes out of the aquifer. It's freaking cold.
He's complaining because you're saying hot water heater
Instead of water.
Bad.
Right.
My bad.
Well, and like technically, the one that I have in my home is a hot water heater because the water inside of it will never cool down. So it's always heating hot water.
Yeah, I reckon so. All right. Are you going to complete a print or you just... No, you're not. And I don't know if that's filament or print setting. Stop.
Stop!
Stop it. Piece of junk. I swear, I should have contacted Joel and them while they were in Prague and told them to tell Joseph to make a good printer.
Well, don't go starting that.
Well, all he's got to do is call up what's his name and ask him for some ideas.
Right. Tinfoil
They're
boy.
right there. Why can't you just get the ideas and run with it?
Right? I mean, god dang it. You done stole every other idea he's got. Steal some more, so make it really good.
Steal the good ones for a change. Gee,
I don't want to start that again.
no.
Wait, this is Glenn's channel. Never mind. He's not watching Glenn's channel.
I've never had any interaction with the guy, so
Neither have I. I'd like to keep it that way.
It's all right.
I completely stopped watching 3D printing on YouTube. That way, every idea I come up with is my own.
Not a bad way to go.
I watched this little video about Kansas City Maker Fair today. It was all right.
I tried to keep it short.
It was really short. I mean, about the time the advertisement was over, the video was over. So they really shouldn't play them in the background.
Now I got to hurry up and build my MPCNC machine before Chris does.
I know. That's
So he
that
doesn't steal all my thunder.
that was an interesting one, and I am not used to, and you guys were at Murph just like I was. I am not used to people knowing who I am at all. I'm kind of uncomfortable about it, actually. But I walked up to that table, and they are a Makerspace in St. Louis. And the guy looked at me, and he just kind of went white, just like his mouth was open a little. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? And he's like, hey. and he's shaking my hand. He's like, can I get a picture with you? And he runs around the table. And I was like, I am totally not used to this. But the young man that he was with that's at the Makerspace quite often, he had built like a go-kart, and he had an MPCNC. He was telling me all about printing polycarb. That guy, he was quite the maker. It was pretty cool. He offered to. He's like, you should come to the Makerspace, and that would be kind of cool if I drove out there. It was cool, but like I say, I'm just not used to it.
Like, well, it'd be cool if I could come out of my basement more often.
Yeah. Well, the basement and everything.
Wait, Glenn, my next printer was going to be the Folgertech FT6, but it took Chris 4 days to build it, and he's still working on it. Yeah, no, I'm not going there.
Yeah.
It was quite the build, I have to say. Somebody was saying that there's a forum for these, or for Folgertech, period, and they do take like suggestions on documentation and stuff. So I really need to get my notes together and send them over there, because that would have made things a lot better.
See, that right there sets you apart. You take notes while you're building.
Well, that's why I got on video, right? I can just go back.
All right? Right?
Yeah, this
Go ahead.
This Acme nut must have had issues from the factory, because they had an extra lock washer stuck between the bracket and the Acme nut.
Yeah, that's pretty common on Creality, I've seen.
3D Mark asks, has anybody pre-ordered the new Creality CR10 Max? I ain't even heard of it.
Yeah, no, I don't know anything about it.
What's up, Java Bean? That's not Nilla. That's Java. Man. I think Chris is down to 240p. Lynn's still at 1080 or 720.
Yeah, I'm going to try a new Acme nut on here. Unfortunately, the screw holes are a different size, though.
I would love to know what's causing that feed latency to YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know, man. See, now you're clear. You're at least at 480 now.
I just don't understand it.
Yeah, that makes two of us.
Hey, do you think it could be something with Virtual Cam?
But I'm running Virtual Cam.
I don't use Virtual Cam on Google Hangouts anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed how far Glenn's audio lags, and I'm like, nah, my video is bad enough. If I make my audio bad, that's just gonna be like crap.
Let's see something here.
We do. We see your little dudes working on your circuit board.
Oh, that's why I use OBS.
There's a table.
Yeah, because it always auto selects that camera.
Oh.
Huh. I really don't like that. There needs to be some sort of camera switcher for this thing.
There is. You go to settings.
Well, it only shows one camera, and I don't know why it does that.
Yeah, it picks whatever the one that's most primary to your computer.
Mine's showing a 930E, two 920s, and an OBS camera, and XSplit.
Yeah, mine doesn't show any of that.
Yeah, mine shows them all. So I don't know. I really don't know.
You. There you go. See if the feed. I'd shut down OBS and just turn it to the regular camera. I don't think it's going to make any difference, but might as well try it.
You're still at, it looks like about 480.
Okay.
Well, in my Google picture, I'm not watching the live stream, so
Gotcha. I'm just real curious because that just started up. I've never had that problem before.
right.
I guess I need to do like some private streams and try to troubleshoot it a little bit. I don't know. Or do a public stream and just make everyone suffer. And then when I have it all fixed, I'll just shut the stream down and not do anything 3D printing.
Said the CR10 Max is like 450 by 450 by 470 or 480. It's not 500, and it's like $999. Said it's built all together like the CR10S Pro.
I was going to say, didn't they already have a 500 cubed printer?
Yeah. Chris, what's your advertised upload speed?
Advertised, I want to say it's like 30, but if I test it, I'll get like 25.
Yeah, Chris Johnson, I'm going for that retro look, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System look. That's what I'm going for. So that's why mine always looks like that. People think it's because I have bad internet.
Graphics guy.
Yeah, I'm the 8-bit guy. When I'm down in the dumps, I get 1080p.
Shenanigans.
Sean's in the house.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like this filament yet or not. It doesn't go down smooth.
Filament again, I'm sorry.
What? I said I don't like this filament. It doesn't go down smooth.
What is it?
The Erie one.
Oh, the Erie.
Does it come on spools with that checker pattern on the side?
No, I don't think so, Chris. Hold on. No, I think some of the ones I gave you do.
Right. That's what I was getting at.
No,
Oh,
it does
you
not.
want to know if it came from the same supplier?
Yeah, well, yeah. If it has that checker on the side, it's all out of that one factory.
Yeah, no, well, that's not true either, because if you order from them and you resell, you can pick your spool and your box.
Oh, I didn't know they had multiple spool options.
Oh yeah, you can do clear spools. You can do all kind of stuff. So
Okay. Well, there you go.
It could be. I don't know. I don't know. I've just never had any problem with that other filament. But I've never had any of their normal filament either.
Yeah. I've been through a couple of rolls and it seems pretty all right.
Yeah. Well, this Erie one, this is my first roll, and I haven't gotten a good print off of it yet. So.
Gotcha.
That's why I jumped over to the Mark III instead of the TiVo, because I thought it might have had something to do with the little monster, because that's been my Achilles heel since I started this channel.
The bane of your existence.
Yes. Yeah, and everybody in here says everyone can go die along with TiVo. So that's what Matt said, Jake from State Farm. My temp right now is at 210. Yeah, 215. The Prusa is running at about 212. So yeah, it just kicked the part cooling fan on, so it dropped to 210. But now it's at 215 again. So running 215, Scott Worthington. Yeah, see, and Chris, this is the thing. I've seen this from a lot of people. Sean Butler said he's had his current printer for 8 months, not had a single jam until he got the Area 1 Gold Silk, and it jammed so bad he had to take everything apart and replace the nozzle. And see, that's the thing with that other place. I've never had any problems with their silks at all, and even in the MMU2, so.
And it's gold silk, right? Not like metallic flake or anything.
Yeah, he said gold silk.
Huh. Wonder what's up.
I don't know. Brian Vine said keep an eye on the diameter. From here, it looks about the same, pretty much. I've got it stretched off across the room and just eyeballing it. I can't tell a difference, none whatsoever, in the diameter.
If you can, I want your eyeballs.
I thought that's the way he said. Keep an eye on it. Well, I've been watching it, and it ain't changed not one bit.
I had to wait a second to see if you were being serious.
Really, Glenn? You had to wait to see if I was being serious.
Well, I know how you country people are.
Yeah, Scott Worthington said they had several bad runs. They're new into filament. The problem is I don't know that they make their own filament. I believe that they're just a reseller of some other manufacturer. But if that's the case, then I don't want any of that manufacturer's filament. You know what I mean?
Seems like they kind of just popped up out of nowhere. I'd never heard of them before they got a hold of me.
Yeah, they had reached out to me through Twitter DM and said, hey, if you'd like to try our filament, you can look it up on Amazon under whatever. And I wrote him back and I said, yeah, I'll check it out if you want to send me a roll. I wasn't going to go buy a roll. I'm far too popular to pay for filament.
Well, see, and then Andrew S. said the spooling of the rolls is really poor. He used to work with their customer service. I'm gonna tell you right now, this spool, this is the roll on this spool is rivaling the Prusa rolls.
That reminds me, I need to check with PM Filament. I'm gonna do that right now before I forget.
Who?
I'll send you a link here.
Okay. Well, I will tell you, if the Prusa can't handle it, I don't want it.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean,
That's
it's just
that time.
And I think I've got a spot here where it didn't stick and it's burned a hole in it, and I need to check before I get too far into this stupid thing. Nope, it was just a booger. Good deal. Move along. Those are not the droids I'm looking for.
Brian Vine said I'm not popular enough, so I bought my own. I should probably say that I was only kidding, but usually anytime that a filament manufacturer reaches out to me, I'll make them send me a roll. If I wasn't looking for it specifically, then I don't want to buy something that I wasn't looking for to begin with.
Yeah.
Well, the
So-
cool thing about me paying 40 cents for this, I have to say I bought it with my own damn money.
Yeah.
True.
You know, they did not buy me out. So. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, I forget. I think I ended up paying like 38 cents or something for it as well.
So yeah, Walter, the stuff out of the Czech Republic that Prusa used to sell before they started making their own,
Yeah.
Filament PM,
Yeah.
they now have a US warehouse, and that stuff is $21 a spool.
Oh, wow.
So if you like that old Prusa stuff, you can get it here in the US pretty easy now. They're just now ramping up all their colors, so they just have a handful on their site. But I liked some of that stuff, so I was kind of happy to hear that.
I'll have to try that out.
Yeah, that you know, the silver that all the printers come with, that's one of my favorite colors, actually.
Yeah.
They have a transparent red and blue ABS that looks really awesome.
Sergio asks, gentlemen, in your opinion, is there a best filament? Yeah, the color I need, not to jam and lays down smooth like butter. That's the perfect filament.
For the right price, yeah.
And I don't give a dang who makes it. That's it.
Yeah.
No, because I don't know about y'all, but I've had great filaments from all types of suppliers, and then I've had bad filament from all types of suppliers. And some of them cross over. So
There is only one supply. Well, I can't say that. There are a handful of suppliers that I've never had an issue with, but only one that I've had more than 10 spools from, and that would be Filamentum. I've had more than 10 spools of Filamentum and burned through all of them and never had one problem.
nope. Now you pay for that.
Yes, you do. There is a premium on Filamentum, and it's hard to get. Like Filament One was the dealer for them in the U.S., and I guess they stopped. They're no longer the supplier. So
That's correct.
yeah, but yeah, you pay the premium for it. But I've never had one problem with it.
No, you're absolutely right there. I've had a few filamentums myself and never had an issue.
Yep.
But you know, I've burned through probably, I'd say 50 or 60 rolls of 3D Solutech, and I think I had one spool that had an issue, and it was only about 3 or 4 meters of it. You know, Now it came at an inopportune time, so I was really pissed about it. But you know, it still wasn't that bad, and it still hasn't been. Even with their, I think they transitioned and got bought, and it's still not that bad.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about inland stuff. You know, I know it all comes out of the same factory. I don't know whose factory that is, but you know, I've probably had 50 rolls of that before, and I might have had 1 or 2 that weren't so great. But most of the time, especially for $15 a spool, I'm not going to complain about it. Did you see the video that the 3D Printing General did about the best PLA? When I was on it? So I was on there, and I'd explained why the certain filament was the one that I would choose. But it's not so much the video that I liked; it was the thumbnail, because the thumbnail has me in the background, and it looks like I'm sneaking up on Uncle Jesse, getting ready to choke him out. The thumbnail's the best part.
Yeah, see, Justin Emerson, all of us aren't lucky enough to have a micro center like 15 minutes away. So, you know,
mine's an hour away. Because if it was 15 minutes, I'd be broke.
Mine's 6.5.
Yeah, you're 6.5 hours away. It's 5.5 for me. So, yeah, it's a ways for us to get to a micro center.
Well, I don't know about you guys though, but here, Filament's $14.99 on the site, and they ship it for free.
Really?
Yeah. You can get all you want.
Well, no, only as much money as I had.
Yeah, PETG I think is 18 a spool, but still.
Now I have a go-to for PETG.
I've gotten to the point where I only print one color PETG.
Yeah, the only thing about my
Really
supplier,
true,
the only thing about my supplier of PETG, he really is kind of girly. Have to watch out for him.
Yeah, I do. I do a lot of IC3D PETG, and it always turns out really well.
Later, Brian Vines. He's taking a nap at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
that's what I need to do.
Got to get a nap in before bedtime.
I think this one might turn out as long as the filament holds out like it is right now. I think this one might make it. It's showing it's got 22 hours and 35 minutes left.
Nova Maker. Do you like Nova Maker filament? I always had really good luck with it. And you know who turned me on to Nova Maker? Thomas, Arduino Makes, a 12-year-old kid.
A really smart 12-year-old kid.
Still, it doesn't matter what age maker you are, but that doesn't base anything on how smart you are, because most of the things he blows me out of the water.
You know, it would have been so cool, man, because I know, and I don't know about you two, but when I was small, when I was like 7, 8, 9, I took things apart to figure out how they work, put them back together, and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Right? Which most makers do. Just think if we'd had 3D printing and the stuff that we have now at that age.
Yeah.
Where we would be now.
Well, I mean, I think about if I would have had 3D printing even, as part of my adult life, how much stuff I like hand fabricated that I wouldn't have had to.
Yeah, I mean, it would be completely different.
I mean, the upside to having to hand fabricate all that stuff is it taught me new skills.
Oh, by the way, I watched that Savage Builds where he builds the Iron Man thing. Titanium 3D printed parts. I mean, come on.
Dude, how cool was that? How cool was that?
I was sitting there watching that for probably 10 minutes or so, and then I realized I had this huge grin on my face.
Right.
This is the coolest thing ever.
Right. Whatever. You was reaching for a newspaper.
Yeah, well, it was bulletproof, man. It was bulletproof.
I know. And then that dude flew in it, man, and it's like, come on. Come on.
Yeah, I watched I think it's called Modern Engineering, about those guys that built the rocket things that they hold. And that was really interesting.
Those things are really cool.
Yeah, Justin Emerson brought up it was $250,000 to print, though.
Well, that is true. What EOS printed it for him or something?
Yeah. But like he says in the video, man, if Tony Stark was a real person and doing that, that's how he would do it right now.
Oh, exactly.
That's the technology that we have.
Yeah, killer. It was awesome.
Are you missing some parts?
I dropped one of those little plastic standoff collars, and they're clear.
Oh.
I think I can sub out PTFE though.
Well, if how big is it?
Tiny.
Oh.
Maybe 4 millimeters high.
Got to watch Glenn. He done broke out the tool bag.
Uh-oh.
That's because these screws came from China already pre-stripped.
Oh, I got you.
Probably going to have to jam a Torx in there to get it to...
Brian Orozco said print him a trout. He had no luck at the lake.
Now, I know I had one more of these.
Man, I really hope this thing finishes and works. I'll be happy.
I did have one more of these.
3D Jimmy said clear and non-magnetic.
Yep.
Yep.
Kind of like my head. Clear and non-magnetic. All right, what's for supper tonight, Chris?
I'm not sure. I heard something about chicken wings, maybe, and that sounds amazing.
Oh man, Glenn, you had tater chips for the stream though.
Yeah, they're special diabetic potato chips though.
How did you find potatoes that had diabetes?
What it is when I take them out of the bag, I say to myself, "Nah, this doesn't have any carbohydrates in it."
Right, there you go. Right.
You just get a Sharpie and mark out all the carbohydrate.
Java Bean, no, man. This is one of those swords that you sling and the blade slides out. I'm trying to print it for my granddaughter, and I tried like 15 times on the T-bone. Like I told Chris before, I think it was before the stream, I told him. I got fed up with it because I've got 500 millimeters worth of Bowden tube on there, and with the retraction and all that other stuff, getting just a little. I mean, I got them down to almost nothing. I've got it dialed in as I think about as best as I'm going to get it. Yeah, I don't think I can get it enough to where I can break the blade loose. Because even on the last one I did, which was the most free, it still had, even with random start points and all that, it still had just little tiny nodules that were between the two circles, or the circles, and it wouldn't. Once those are all the way up the blade, yeah, I'd have to do a lot of work to get it to break free.
Do you have, Walter, just out of curiosity, do you have cap tube on that printer?
No, I do not.
I would be curious because I've tested cap tube a couple of times in different scenarios to see if it would help retraction at all.
Yeah.
And really, the tolerance is more aggravating than it is helpful, in my opinion. But I would be curious at 500 millimeters if it made just a little bit of difference.
Well, and I did have it on there, and what you mentioned is exactly why I took it off, because I buy cheap filament, and it was jamming in the tube, and I'm like, yeah, I can't have that. So
I totally understand.
So I went back to the normal, and I'd be interested to see it as well.
Yeah.
To see if it makes a difference, because I'm sure it would.
Yeah, I mean, if you could get it tuned just right, it probably would. But, again, it is 500 millimeters.
3D Jimmy said he had dinner with a Green Beret today. That must have been a cheap dinner because they don't eat much. They just kind of sit there on the table.
I see what you did there.
Scott Worthington said it made no difference on his printers.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've run into.
Ray Milliard's watching us while he's out for lunch with the family. We are family, man. So if you're having a TV dinner in your underwear in your living room, you're having lunch with family.
Right.
I'm having a good day today. Having an issue with Hit Film Express. I'm working with a 5-minute clip, and so far my edit is showing 7 minutes and 41 seconds. You got something else on the timeline? I use Hit Film Express a lot. Well, before I got the subscription.
Adobe Premiere.
The subscription?
Yeah.
I mean, like to the candy bar?
That Adobe thing.
Oh, yeah, I like them whatchamacallit candy bars.
Yeah. I used to eat whatchamacallits quite often. I do not anymore.
Well, what do you call it?
I call it, I don't eat much candy.
I don't either.
3D Jimmy said, yeah, but he had 2 drinks. Oh, damn. Carl said that's the first time he's had issues.
No candy except for Starlight Mints, and I'm extremely addicted to those.
Are you?
Yeah, I don't know why, but I'll eat like 6 or 7 a day.
Jeff Slater's in here, and he said he is a whatchamacallit. Now you do like gummy bears though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy gummy bears. I don't get them very often, but yes. And whatever's in the maker box, of course I eat that instantly.
I did exactly what I said I wasn't going to do in the last alien box. I took my lemon head home. I got half a damn lemon head. My wife's like, "Oh, is that lemon head?" I'm like, yeah."
Whoops.
She said, "Well, can I have one?" I'm like, "Here, eat this one." I gave her the one out of my mouth. She ate it, and then I came home I think it was the next morning. I got up and they were all gone. She's like, "Oh yeah, I took them to work with me."
Family.
Yeah, what do you do? We're coming up. We got a month and 6 days. It'll be 24 years married. Me and that one.
Congratulations.
Are you sure?
Well, trying to be nice.
It ain't always great, man, but it's damn sure been a fun ride. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Well, as long as you're having a good time.
99% of the time we do. Michael Fox, I can talk to him and see what's going on with that. I don't know how when you stop your subscription and start over that it wouldn't do that, but he may have that built in that only new subscribers with new registrations get it. So I don't know, Michael, because he said he was going to go in and fix that for you. So I don't know. 3D Jimmy, no, that is not the 3D printer anniversary. My wife really doesn't want a 3D printer. And I really don't want her to go buy me one either. Now, for her to look at me and go, "It's okay, baby, get you another 3D printer," that would be okay. Wow, Poppy Ron, that's awesome, man. 55 years, 2 days ago.
Wow.
That's exactly right, Pete. See, you got that right. Got to find somebody you can stand that'll put up with your crap. So what are you doing to that, Chris?
Mostly just trying to reconfigure it a little bit to get a little bit more room. Like I said, I want to park a Raspberry Pi in here alongside it. I wasn't happy with the way that I put the LCD cables on. I should have flipped them around the other way, so I redid that. Just tinkering with it mostly.
Jeff Slater, yours was a lovely woman too, buddy. 30 years. At least I hope they were 30 good ones. Sergio said he's 37 on him. And Glenn is concentrating really hard because he hadn't said a thing. Either that or his microphone died.
No, my mic works. I was just ignoring you.
Oh, look at him. He's listening to the motor. He's got his stethoscope out.
I'm trying to figure out which one's doing it.
Oh, I hear you, Jeff Slater. What 30 years, there's going to be good and bad, buddy. I talked to a couple. They've been married about 5 years now, and they're young. They went to school with my daughter, and she was like, "I thought after 5 years everything was good after that." I'm like, "No, no." She's like, "Oh God, so we got to do this forever?" I'm like, "Yes."
Maybe something came unhooked.
I'm pretty sure. You're trying to straighten wiring up? Yeah, something came unhooked.
That's true.
Man, I think I'm going to print it. I don't know that I'm going to send this to my granddaughter. Looking at the blade layers on this, I don't think it would survive more than a day. That's right, Poppy Ron. Sweet, Jimmy.
The bed reads 116 degrees. That's not good.
Yeah, it sounds like both of them are pulsing, actually.
Aha.
Board. It's got to be the board.
And you don't have another Creality you can pull the board out of and stick in there and try it?
I don't have another Creality I'm willing to pull the board out of.
Oh, I got you.
I mean, I got my 10S Pro and my 20 Pro, but I don't really want to hack them.
No, I get you. I understand. Oh, he's done got out the magnifier, the multi-layer magnifiers.
Yeah, well, I told you guys last week that the blind spot in my eye is gone, and now it's like a fish eye. So like I'll be looking at a straight line, and if I look at it just right, it's like or it's like great. I'm not sure if that's better or worse than the blind spot.
My wife took my youngest daughter to her eye appointment yesterday, getting her eyes checked, getting new glasses. You know, it's been a year and a half or something like that. Anyway, they're sitting in there, and this lady comes in, and she goes back there with the doctor, and the doctor leaves the door open while he's talking, and she goes, "Yes, sir. This morning I got up and I felt something warm running down my face, so I wiped my face, and there was blood coming out of my eye." Right?
Oh, great.
So anyway, so he looks, and you hear, she said you heard him pick up his cell phone, and he goes, "Okay, call me back as soon as you get this message, blah, blah, blah." Anyway, he goes back in there, and he goes, "Ma'am," he said, "I've called a surgeon. You need to have surgery today on your eye. You have a detached retina. So I need you to go home, lay down, and do not move until you're ready to go to the hospital. Lay flat of your back."
Wow.
So anyway, she said they were sitting there a few more minutes, and his phone rang while he was looking at Destiny, my daughter's eyes. And he goes, "I got to take this." Anyway, he stepped outside the door, and they could hear him. "Yeah, I'll have her get there, blah, blah, blah." And then he went over and told the receptionist or whatever, "Call that lady, tell her to get to here now, blah, blah, blah." Anyway, so apparently she went to get her retina reattached yesterday.
That sounds terrible.
I'm wondering though, how do you just wake up with a detached retina?
Well, I suppose it doesn't just immediately happen, but it happens slowly over time. And I mean, it's either attached or it's not.
Right.
Vince, that's very possible. I'm not really sure how that process goes, but upping the voltage may be a...
Later, Sean.
I know that you can meter that voltage just by touching the top of the potentiometer, correct?
Mm-hmm.
No, I just got to figure out which potentiometer it is. At least these aren't like the ANET boards where they don't have one on all the different... I have to have the magnifying glasses and the flashlight.
Here. Go ahead, Chris.
No, go ahead. I was gonna ask you a question.
Darren, Anton, I'll have to check that out too, because I want to see what the CR10 Max is all about, and I like teaching tech videos. Go ahead, Chris.
So if you were to put a fan that cooled your electronics case, would you rather
Blow out.
you would rather have it pull out or push in?
Is the case sealed?
It's got a vent on top and then a vent for the fan. So you
Yeah.
could it will
Outward.
Yeah,
blow outward.
make it suck through the case. Yes.
Okay. Good to know. Glad I asked.
Yeah, if you have kind of like if it's a very vented area, then you'd blow in. Because you wouldn't necessarily, like, you wouldn't get enough airflow through if it was sucking out. You wouldn't, like, the air would just be too much of it would be coming in, and you wouldn't really be exchanging it. But if it's a tunnel, then you want to blow out. You want to push that hot air out and let it take the cool air in from anywhere that it can.
All right.
All right. So now when I meter that, you guys have to help me. I've never done this. When you meter that voltage for the stepper, I can clip to any 12 volt ground, right?
Correct.
And then I measure the positive voltage on the potentiometer.
Correct.
Okay, so ground to 110 volts.
Yeah. lick it first.
I'll put my tongue on it first and make sure it's good.
Yeah.
Make it wet so that it gets better contact.
Right. A lot of people don't like it because you're using a metal screwdriver, but for fine tuning those things, I really like clipping the lead on a screwdriver and then just kind of watching it tick up.
Yeah, I've seen that method, which makes sense because then you're turning it while you're tuning it.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot easier to get it to an exact number if that's what you're going for. Mostly, I just
voltage there even when it's not running, like when the motor's not.
Yeah. Even so when you plug that printer in USB, does it power up?
I don't know.
Because that's even enough. That 5 volts is even enough to set the potentiometer.
Well, it says there's only 1 volt.
Yeah, it's going to be less than a volt. Anywhere from like 1.2 to nothing.
Yeah, because I got 0.79 on X.
Yep.
0.79 on I think Y. 0.79 on E. And 1.04 on Z.
Yeah, so it's already been turned up quite a bit, or it's running pretty hot.
I suppose because it's pushing 2 motors and everything else is only pushing 1.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
then,
that's about as high as you want to push it.
I was going to say consensus wise, and we don't want to monkey with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yay! All right, well, new board next then. Yeah, I told you when I brought the Trunks EX1 in and gave it to him, he goes, "Oh, you're giving this to us?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Is ours in that bad a shape?" And I'm like, "No, but everybody needs more than one printer."
Right? I need to go check our library. I don't even think they have one at our library.
Ours didn't either. We had gone in there at one point and talked to them, and nobody had any inkling even what we were talking about. And then they redid the kids section of the library, and all of a sudden, here was Ryan and 3D printing in our library, and we were really excited. So we went in and introduced ourselves, and told him who we were and what we did, and then he was really excited.
Yeah. Glenn, what'd you say the reading was on that voltage?
1.04.
Okay, because Scott Worthington said he runs his at 1.3.
I mean, you could go up some, but I don't know that it's going to help much.
Well, I mean, if it's only a little bit of help needed.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so what's the worst that happens? What do I burn up?
The board?
Yeah, I've burned up the driver on the board.
I'm looking at buying one of those anyway.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. So you're looking at buying a board anyway if it doesn't work. So
And then the next magic question is, am I turning clockwise or counterclockwise?
And that is a crapshoot on all those drivers, it seems like.
I just can't figure it out. While I have this printer running, man, it gets hotter and hotter in here.
Funny how that works.
It is, ain't it? Especially with it sitting right here on the table next to me.
Yeah, we were in Lowe's today and they had air conditioners on sale. I was thinking about you, Walter. I wasn't thinking about you enough to buy you one, but
Well, that sucks. Wish you'd have been thinking about. I'd even drove to Lady Lake to pick it up.
Do you have an Ollie's near you? Because they're clearancing some right now.
No.
Oh, Ollie's is.
I did find out that you said Aldi's, right?
What was that, Walter?
Did you say Aldi's?
Ollie's, Ollies.
No, never heard of them.
It's like a Big Lots. You ever heard of Big Lots?
Yeah, we have Big Lots.
Okay, so it's kind of like a Big Lots. Well, it's kind of like what Big Lots used to be, where it's legitimate closeouts. Now Big Lots has just become a store.
Yeah, I was going to say I haven't been in Big Lots, and they started adding like mattresses and furniture, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm out.
Yeah, they don't really do much as far as closeouts go anymore.
No, I did find out that we're supposed to get an Aldi's in my town.
Yeah, they don't have air conditioners.
I don't care.
The Aldi's in Australia once a year gets 3D printers.
I know. I don't care. I'll go put my quarter in the buggy and get groceries.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's the rent-a-cart store.
Yeah.
I haven't been in one of those since I was a kid.
Yeah, we used to have them in Arkansas, man, and we shopped there all the time when we lived in Arkansas. Yep. And then we moved down here, and there was no Aldi's anywhere even close to here. And I'm like, well, crap, that sucks. Because you can save a lot of money at Aldi's.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, you can go to Thingiverse and print something to put in the carts to get the carts for free.
Yeah, you can. There's an Aldi's coin.
I do not condone that kind of behavior. I'm just saying that you.
I can't even believe you brought it up, man.
You could if you wanted to.
It's technically possible.
You're one of those kind of people. All right, don't break. Now
you know the feeling.
You should be saying, "Don't smoke, don't smoke, don't smoke."
Don't let the magic smoke come out.
Let's see if we get it. Puff the magic dragon lives by the glen.
So how high should I push this thing?
I don't know. What are you at?
1.11.
Well, yep. Try it there.
1, 2, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. I think they'll handle up to 1.4, right?
It kind of depends on the motor, I guess, but
all right, 1.2.
Sweet. Man, I wish my Monoprice Mini Delta was this quiet. I would print a lot more with it.
Funny you should mention that. There was a Monoprice Mini Delta at Maker Faire yesterday. I was like, hey, look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that.
I thought about checking with the library and seeing if they had one. If they didn't, I'd give them that one.
Yeah, it's still doing it.
Is it?
I mean, honestly, I don't know if it'll affect the print.
I'm sitting there looking at it. It looks pretty damn smooth to me.
It's just when you run it, you hear it going ding, 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 ding.
Huh. Try a print with it, man.
It's got to be in that driver, Glenn.
It's got to be. Oh, Scott Worthington said he has a Monoprice Mini Delta that's junk. Well,
like a lot of people probably do.
That happens.
Okay. I'm somewhat satisfied with this. Still need to clean up all the wires, though. I don't really enjoy doing that.
Later, 3D printing and painting. Take it easy, buddy.
Please let me know at the point that you find the person that really enjoys doing the cable management, because I will make a partner on my channel.
They're hired.
Scott said, turn it up to 1.3 and try it. But,
Well, my only issue is like it doesn't really seem like it made any difference.
Yeah.
I mean, am I wrong to think that adding voltage would make it a little bit less?
Yeah, I don't know. David Houghton, he told me how to pronounce it, and I can't remember. You can print the coins. They cost approximately 0.02 pounds to print, and if you're lucky, somebody will give you their metal coin for the trolley. So, like when you're taking your groceries out, they'll be like, "Here's your quarter." You're like, "Okay," and then you go home and print you a new one.
I don't know. All these isn't really big enough to actually need a cart, is it?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, they just recently expanded ours, but uh-oh.
We lose Walter?
For a quick second, we
There he is.
No, did you lose
you
me?
were gone. You were black screen, and you were like, bunk, bunk, bunk.
I don't know.
Alien grab. Techie Dad said, my OCD demands good cable management. Yeah, but you enjoy doing it. That's the question. It's not whether or not you do it or you feel you have to. Do you enjoy doing it?
I want to make everything wireless.
Everything?
Yep.
Well, okay, so I had made a comment some time back that somebody needs to come up with something similar to the CAN bus, where it's just like 4 wires to everything, like 4 wires to your hot end, and it just runs everything. And then I could have sworn I read or heard that Duet was working on something like that. Has anybody else heard that?
I've not heard that.
I mean, it would almost be like just sending all the signals. Like it would have 12 volt and ground, and then 2 signal wires. So a signal would hit the board on your hot end, and it would say, "All right, turn on the cooling fan," or read the thermistor, and you'd only have 4 wires then going to your hot end. And if they're not already working on it, copyright.
Hey, Chris, what was that video you were supposed to be making we talked about on your stream the other day?
Is it the CAN bus?
No, it was some idea that we talked about, and I'm like, that'll be a Chris Riley video.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some help. I don't remember.
I don't either. I don't remember what it was either.
Some of my best ideas were forgotten just like that.
Yeah.
Well, but we have video of ours. I mean, we could go back and watch the damn video.
Yeah, if the video quality wasn't so bad, I'd go back and watch it.
Yeah, just don't turn the screen on and just listen to it.
There you go. So my idea for the wire management thing. So I think Tom recently did it, or maybe it was Stefan or some. I don't remember. Somebody has recently done something like this, but I just want a patch panel. So main board is just wired to a patch panel, and then everything else is on the side. So I can just plug in whatever thermistor, hot end, all that good stuff right into that panel.
Right.
But I think making that panel is probably harder than I think.
Carl gave it to us. You're supposed to be etch-a-sketching a benchy.
Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to do Vinci by hand. I forgot.
Java
People
Beans
that watch this stream pay more attention to the people that in the stream.
Right. Now, we talked about it the other day. Glenn talked about putting knobs on his, like wiring them to the main board with a like a button that he could hit to move the Z up, and then he has to etch-a-sketch a benchy from memory using the X and Y knobs and then the up on the Z.
I gotta hook up foot pedal Z.
You're gonna do a foot pedal Z. That's right.
I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so all the motors do that.
On the same driver or on all drivers?
All of them. Like right now, I just did home. I can hear every one of them going wub 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 wub.
But that wasn't the case before you upped the voltage?
I don't know.
Yeah, try a print.
The reason, like, the only reason I started to look into it was because Ryan brought it to my attention. He's like, I don't know where that noise came from. He goes, it just started that. And I said, all right, well, I'll look into it. Well, either way, everything is nice and straight now. So, I mean, it wasn't time wasted.
You wouldn't happen to have a spare power source that you could try, would you? I mean, maybe you're getting some noisy power.
I do. I have a couple power supplies.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt to test, I guess. But
Ray Cruz jumped in and said, good Lord, that's why we have G-code. Yeah, but come on. You know you'd watch Chris Riley trying to do a Etch-a-Sketch Benchy.
hey, I've written G-code by hand, line by line before. It couldn't be much harder than that.
Why did you do that?
I needed it to do something special, and I couldn't figure out how to get the slicer to do it. So I spent 3 hours banging out about 300 lines of G-code.
I bet your brain hurt after that.
Oh, man. I don't smoke, and I needed a cigarette.
I hear you. A stiff drink and a cigarette. Wow. Oh. Yeah, Vince, I think that's going to be Glenn's next try, is to try the power supply after he tries the print and see if it actually makes a difference anyway.
I don't even remember what I was trying to do now. I needed the Z to lift. I needed it to lift more than like a tool head swap, a little bit more than that, and then move to a different area. Like if you were doing like multiple prints of the same thing, but you finished one and then worked on another.
Right.
That's what I was trying to get it to do, and couldn't figure out how to slice that.
Carl asked, did you get it to work?
Yeah, after about 4 or 5 redos, I did end up getting it to work. But like I say, it was like, 3 seconds of movement. It wasn't a real lengthy code. Because I think
oh, go ahead.
Yeah, well, in a Benchy G code, I want to say there's 400,000 lines. So
Ray Cruz came back in and said, yes, he would watch. He don't know which is sadder, you doing it or us watching it.
Yeah, I understand. But I still have the moments like, what am I doing? And I wish there's a video coming that I had this thought. I mean, it was like, there's just no reason to do this. But I don't want to spoil anything, but I still get that all the time. It's like, why am I doing this?
Right. Well, and I think the reason you do it is because me and Glenn come up with ideas and you love to steal them before we get our videos done.
Right. That's true.
Keep stealing a little notebook.
Sergio went through the chat. He wanted to know if he's got an extra CR10S board, if you want to try that.
Yeah, I would be absolutely open to that. Shoot me a DM on Twitter, if you will. I mean, being that you're doing me a favor, do me another favor.
That right?
I don't know if Sergio has the Twitter or not. I can I can make that connection for you. Me and Sergio talk.
Well, there's also my email, which is Glenn with 2 N's at funking3d.com. I mean, we already got one non-Twitter guy on Twitter this year.
I know that's right.
I'm kind of like on Twitter.
You're on Twitter more than I am.
Yeah, think so.
Yeah, I've been laying off it mostly. I was gonna go fly the drone today and get some drone footage and post it up on my. It's just too friggin' hot outside. And I'm fat. I don't know about y'all, but my fat don't like outside when it's hot like that.
No, I about killed myself yesterday. We went out, took the family outside to rake up all the cut grass because it was real deep when I cut it. So we're out there raking, and then I was putting everything away, and Zach so kindly reminded me that I still hadn't set up his sandbox. So then after toting out like 150 pounds worth of sand, I was almost dead.
I hear you.
This is horrible. I'm so out of shape.
Java Bean said there's 583,901 lines in his Benchy G code.
583,000, yeah. What I say, 400 something?
Yeah.
It's a lot. Speaking of sandbox, yesterday was the first time that I'd seen that projection sandbox like you were showing, Walter, in your video.
Yeah.
I swear I elbowed like 5 kids out of the way so I could get in there and play in that sandbox.
I'm telling you.
I was throwing elbows like it was roller derby. but no, it is really cool.
It is cool, man. And I still want to build one. I just ain't, I need to get all of my projects done and get everything out of the way and then build that.
That is, it's awesome. I've never seen anything quite like that.
Carl asked me, was I complaining about the heat again? Said, shut up and move north. Yeah, I'm okay.
That's a good thought, Tristan. I'll definitely try that. I'm going to run a print and see what happens first. Because it may be fine. I mean, it might have been just a situation that Ryan didn't really realize that it was already making that noise and it's normal for this printer.
True.
All right,
that's
some heat
that's
going.
not like where I work. So you make a change. Somebody says, "Well, this doesn't work," and then you say, "Did it work before?" And they go, "I don't know."
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Can I still play piano?
The surgery was a success. Will I be able to play the piano? Could you before? No.
Exactly. Welcome to my world.
I'm glad I don't have to deal with that, man.
I wish I didn't have to, but tis life.
And I know y'all don't get on Facebook, or Chris especially, but Glenn doesn't get on there very often. But I posted a picture the other day, and it showed, it said, developer creates this incredible UI, and it shows this wooden tray with 3 bowls for cat food in it. It's great. And then the next thing you see is then users screw it up, and it's got the cats like tied in a pretzel knot trying to get to the food dishes. Instead of just lining up and going to their food dish.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's exactly how it is. A guy in New York City robbed a Dunkin' Donuts and tried to use an Uber as a getaway.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Still not getting any heat to the bed.
What? Did you unplug it?
I did not.
Dang it.
I got to get back to printing my second Snappy. I printed a part yesterday, but I didn't start one today.
Well, I tried to stream yesterday for morning coffee. I don't know if y'all even tried to catch any of that, but yeah, no.
At 6 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, I saw you had like 3 entries out there. Was it just not happening? Or?
Yeah, it just was not happening, man. It was worse than what I am now. I mean, I have no idea what was going on.
Huh.
Man, this printer is going to be the bane of my existence.
I think one of their biggest issues is this new upgrade to Studio. I think they're still like trying to swap everything over to the new one.
Yeah, every time that I go into Studio and then I have to click the go to the classic Studio and it's like, why do you want to do that? I always click other and I go because it sucks.
Oh, I do too. I say because this one's crap. I do too. I click other and say this one sucks. This one's no good. Go back to the old one.
I think I have spent more time off camera today than on camera.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sergio. Yeah, now I'm wondering if I got a busted wire somewhere.
Yeah, it said 3D Jimmy said Morning Coffee Playback had good video quality. I just couldn't. I mean, I was dropping like 70% of my frames.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, you're looking at the printer saying that.
No, I was talking to you. I just don't know why I said it. I sure do wish I could figure out why the quality's bad though.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, like right now, yours is 480 again,
Decent.
500. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then now it's at 240.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
I don't either. What's up, Paul Cumber? Oh, 3D Jimmy said the frames that came through were very clear.
Yeah, it's not putting voltage out to the bed.
Tristan asked, does it have a check the board and see if it's got a dry solder joint or a dodgy terminal on it?
Well, I'm thinking maybe something burned up when that connector went bad. That maybe it burned something up on the board.
That's completely possible.
I mean, you think about the amount of current that would have to push when that contact went bad. And again,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see this, but you see.
Oh yeah, I can see the discoloration on it.
Yeah, this one right here is like real bad discolored. Yeah. I don't know why it's not focused. There we go.
It could smoke that MOSFET pretty easy.
So, and maybe that's what caused the other issues in the printer. This motor warbling and.
Brother Ron's in the house. Welcome, the Happy Extruder. Welcome.
Happy Ron! Happy Ron and I still have to get together for lunch one day. We've just got one of those impossible schedules right now. Yeah, Paul, that's what I'm thinking, buddy.
What's a good way to keep wires in an aluminum extrusion? Maybe some of that decorative press-in stuff?
You could do that. Otherwise, if you go on Thingiverse, there's some little clips that you can print that turn and lock into the extrusion, and then the wire clips into it.
All right. I'll try some of this, and maybe I'll get me some of those clips.
If it's like anything over 20, if it's like a 40 millimeter or a 60 millimeter,
yeah.
I find some hoops as well that I could email to you. They haven't been released to the public yet.
Excellent.
Well, would you look at that?
What?
It's 6 o'clock.
Yeah, it is. God, why are you always the one that wants to leave early?
Because I don't eat supper before I come on here, and I don't eat on here. And I'm fat.
You should get some of these carbohydrate-free chips.
Yeah.
That's all right. I got to run back to Lowe's and get more containers for Lego.
We're having some cream 40s again tonight. Another fresh pot of peas.
All right. Well, I guess if you guys want to call it.
Glenn, you're welcome to stay, bud. It's your stream.
I know.
Just soon it'll be just fun.
But you know what the great part is as long as I'm there, it's always fun.
That's right.
True. It doesn't matter where that fun's taking place. It's fun. So you guys rock, paper, scissors on who does your outro.
Tom Conklin said, howdy, y'all. Finally figured it out. Finally figured it out at the end of the stream.
Like how to get here? Yeah, unfortunately, we're going.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll preface the outros and say, for those of you guys that don't know, funcountrybasement.com will always tell you where the stream is for the week. Sometimes as late as Sunday at like 1 o'clock, which was always totally my fault. I was halfway through church service and I realized it was my day and I hadn't scheduled it. And I was like, oh, but I couldn't do it during church. That would have been I'd have been a little rude. But yeah, funcountrybasement.com or funinthecountry.basement.com. Either one will take you to the same place. You can see who's hosting and the channel or the link to the stream when it is posted. I'm thinking about setting it up where, like, if you want to get notified, you can. I mean, I always hate that. I always choose no on the notifications, but maybe somebody else would want to be notified. But
we should start a weekly newsletter, a daily newsletter, an hourly newsletter.
Oh, every 15 minutes.
Every 15 minutes.
Live news every 15 minutes.
I nominate Chris. I nominate Chris to write all those.
Absolutely. But also on that website, down towards the bottom are 3 big red buttons that say subscribe. And we'd love for you to click each and every one of those if you haven't done it already, because that's really why we're here. We don't care about anything else. It's all about the numbers, right?
All about the numbers.
I like stats.
Here's the problem, though. We're playing this numbers game, and I'm in the tail end of it. Chris is like running away with this crap, and Glenn's holding his own.
I can't seem to get over that 4,700 mark. Like, I'll get there. I'll get to like 4,701, 4,702, and then I'll lose like 8. And then it builds back up, and it'll hang at like 46.98, 46.99, 46.98. It's like, come on.
I don't even know where I'm at. I ain't even look.
Well, I have that scroller that I built that sits right on my desk. It's like right in front of my face. And the only reason that I keep that thing running is it tells me when my Wi-Fi has dropped out. But it's just like,
Tony Ryan said I need to build a big printer now.
everybody should build a big
I don't mind it as long as I don't have to print the frame for it. I'm good with that. Matter of fact, I've got a couple here I can take apart and got plenty of motors and boards and everything else.
You don't have to print the frame. You just go to openbuilds.com and order it up, and then it shows up in the mail. You just got to be willing to write a big fat check.
Well, see, I talked about doing a raffle for the Kuntry Bow and the Hypercube, the Hypercube Evo. So we'll see. Anybody wants printed printers?
But you have to pick them up in Florida.
Or at Earth.
Oh, there you go.
Come there. 3D Jimmy said Walter is a big printer. Bigger than you think. I'm taller than you think, that's for sure, because I'm always sitting down. And I don't have one of those nice stools that Glenn has that puts me like 10 foot in the air.
I got 2.
I know.
He used to have a kid that would come and help me do this. So he was actually going to come on with me today, but he got a chance to go swimming instead and took that opportunity. But I am trying to work him back into joining me.
Tristan called me out and said, or just build the printer that you already have the parts for, like a bear. That's true. I do need to build it. It's right here. The whole dang thing is in the box. Right there. Right there. You figured it out, Glenn?
No, because I forgot this has an external MOSFET for the bed. Which switches.
But if I'm not mistaken, Chris, he can take the MOSFET out of line, right? And just straight go into the power supply.
Yeah, you could.
Will this board handle that?
I'm not gonna sit here and say that.
No.
I'm just saying you could, just to make sure it hadn't burnt the board up. Because if it's a MOSFET, that's like $2.
Well, I should be able to meter. I should be able to meter this MOSFET and see what it's doing. But you guys don't have to stay just for that. I mean,
Michael Fox says his bear's all put together and still not working right.
Your
I'll tell
Prusa
you what.
AM8?
I don't know. Bear is supposed to be from a Prusa, right?
Yeah, it's a Prusa AM8.
Yeah. Did you get the wheels put on that little trolley thing for that printer, Chris?
No, I don't get the wheels till tomorrow.
I was wondering, you moved it awful quick.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be doing woodworking on his 3D printing channel.
Well,
Right.
yeah. I want to stay as pigeonholed as possible.
But that's the thing is, though, yours says Chris Riley's basement. So woodworking actually is a 3D thing.
It's true.
If you're building something, I mean, I guess you could make a 2D object out of wood.
Not really. You couldn't.
Not really. I mean, there's going to be a thickness, right?
Yeah. Regardless, I mean, if you can touch it, it's technically 3-dimensional.
Correct.
That's why the big joke is all printing is 3D printing.
Yeah.
Right.
Even if that wood was paper.
Right. It's still got a thickness.
Chris finished working on 2 projects in this stream. Glenn and Walter are slacking. Well, that's like normal. That special? Did you finish both of them, Chris?
I got about halfway through both of them. I burnt the soldering was pretty unsuccessful, and I got the bed wires cleaned up on the other printer. So yeah, I halfway did both of them.
You should have used the heat gun on the SMD thing.
I should have. I never listened.
Well, you know, me neither.
All right, Glenn, are you gonna stay on this for a while? If so, I'm gonna tap out.
No, you guys can do your outros.
All right, Walter, you wanna go first?
Sure, why not? I'm Walter, Kuntry 3D. If you hadn't subscribed, click that subscribe button that's on Fun in the Country Basement. If not, come over to the channel. Check it out. It's Kuntry 3D. I work on stuff sometimes when the internet allows, because here recently it has not allowed. But we'll see. Rather than that, Christopher.
Yes, I am Chris Riley. This is Chris's Basement. That's me. I'm on Twitter, if you want to follow me, Chris Riley 3D. I am on YouTube. I do videos occasionally. I try to provide useful content. Sometimes I just take a lot of videos from places that I go. But hopefully it's enjoyable to somebody that would like to watch it. And Fun in the Country Basement is awesome. You should subscribe to Kuntry 3D and Fun King 3D because they're good guys. And I enjoy hanging out with them every week. But I'll see you next week.
And I guess that leaves me. And you obviously know that this is Fun King 3D because that's where you are today. And we appreciate you being here. We love each and every one of you. And as I say every week, we only do this because of you guys. If you weren't here, there'd be no reason for us to do this. So we thank you for joining us, and we hope that you continue to join us, and we hope that you enjoyed it. For the record, the MOSFET's bad on this. It's not switching. I can be found pretty much everywhere. Fun King 3D, funking3d.com is the easiest place to find me. My preferred method of contact is the Twitters. I think that's all I got. I already went through the whole website thing. Well, Tony Ryan, Walter is so old. That is so pretty much is 1, and it's written in Roman numerals.
Oh, wow.
That one is not a viable old joke because we're out of the time limit provided.
Nope, I got the only one in on the stream. 37 minutes.
But anyway, so that's all I got. Anybody else got anything else?
No,
Nope.
man.
All right. Well, until next time, print on. I got to find my mouse.